I've decided it, everybody. This channel is now a conspiracy channel. So I'm going to talk a minute about things that have been going down in East Ohio. So yeah, again, I don't want this channel to be a conspiracy channel totally, but at this point, I just wanted to do a quick video talking about three things that I've noticed in the last few days when it comes to the Ohio train and chemical derailment. So first one, just testing browsers. I mean, I use YouTube for a large amount of things, both my phone and my computer. I'm signed in on my computer to my account, not on my phone. If you type in Ohio train derailment when you are signed to an account, it gives you the links, and it's like, okay, we know exactly what you're talking about. If you're just using the open browser, which is, I'm assuming, what most people do, at least, you know, people who care about politics and major happenings in the United States don't have an active YouTube account, it doesn't come up. It actually doesn't come up. If you type in Ohio TR, which should pop up right away, and it did when I had on my browser, it goes to a turnpike derailment. If you type in just Ohio T, it takes you to all the results are for an Ohio turnpike derailment, which did happen a few months earlier. You actually have to type in Ohio train, and then derailment isn't even the first option, it's like the fourth option that comes up. And this is on the open browser on my phone. You can test if you want, if you get a different result, whatever. Two, there has been a media blackout on this. Coverage has been low. Private news feeds like MSN or anything like that, they become so specialized that it doesn't even show up. You know, this is maybe part of a larger rant, but if you get a news feed that I don't even use, by the way, you know, I have people I watch, I have people I follow. I can get onto that another time. An open news feed, whenever you open up a open up a search browser, for me it's MSN. I don't use Google. It's through Bing. 1 of 10 of those articles will actually be about news coverage, and it's always like a selected one. It's like, this one's political. If it has anything to do with Trump or anybody else politically, that's immediately what'll show for a story. It's never about any major incident in the United States. And if it is, it's only, you know, one article that shows up once. It doesn't come back around. 8 or 9 out of the 10 stories that are run are not actual news. They are just, you know, quizzes, rankings, things about media, because they've noticed you've liked media or shopping inference. It's like, hey, you know, we're listening in, and we can hear what you talk about when you look on Amazon. That's, you know, 9 out of 10 of the articles that come up, because it's not out. Actually, they don't, you know, they're not actually trying to provide the news if they don't have to. You know, they're just trying to, you know, shove a large amount of news articles about media in there. Because if you actually read them, there's grammar errors from hell and back. Things just misspelled to the point where, yeah, it probably isn't an AI, because an AI wouldn't mess it up. It's some crapshoot journalist throwing all this stuff together in 5 minutes because he needs to get paid. Someone who can't spell or proofread. You know, idiots, genuine idiots writing this stuff. So that was the second one, talking about media blackout, but I went on a tangent. The third thing is the angle that a lot of the people who are covering this, at least with major news networks, are spinning it. In that, think about whenever there's a mass shooting or a serious event in the United States, what's the first thing they mention? The first thing they mention, the name of the university, the name of the town. We refer to an immense amount of national tragedies, and specifically mass shootings in recent times, by the town it happens at, or by the college, or more importantly, the location. The location. What are all these news sites, you know, referring to it as? Ohio town, Ohio town, Ohio town. Okay? The name of the town is East Palestine. And all the people who are actually saying, hey, this is what's actually happening here. There's this major chemical spill that's putting a shitload of people in danger in the larger state of Ohio and east of Ohio. It's just insane to me that this coverage is not mentioning the name of the town at all. And, you know, it's because if they were running this news story to the degree that it probably did cover, it'd be, you know, first on the list of everything anybody was watching. Same thing with like Flint, Michigan. Oh yeah, we do refer to another national tragedy where way less of people could be potentially affected. You know, a few dozen people die of lead and heavy metal contamination in Michigan. What do we refer to that incident? Flint, Michigan. You say Flint, Michigan, everybody knows what you're talking about. If I go up on the street today and I say East Palestine, they're going to think, oh yeah, the Middle East. Okay, because how many people get news entirely through just headlines, not actually reading articles, not actually looking into it, or compiling some data from footage, just headlines. Well, what are people abroad going to do if the people online who are saying, yeah, this is like a nuclear meltdown, this is like Chernobyl level bad in America? What are people overseas when they see the title, a privatized title, say, yeah, the U.S. government just nuked East Palestine? It's selectively choosing not to name the location for larger political means, or to avoid confusion internationally. That's just going to ultimately come back to haunt newscasters, and it's not actually providing the truth. I've never seen a response to a national incident without the location being mentioned at all beyond the state. I mean, this happened, in town. This is, you see this massive fireball and this chemical cloud above it. It's right above the town. It's directly above it. It's not like this town is not associated to the point where you could subdue it. And, you look up all the top articles. No, the name is not there. It's Ohio town, not East Palestine, because they're avoiding confusion abroad because of the political implications of saying the U.S. government derailment is putting the town of East Palestine at risk, or they might just say East Palestine. They're thinking about themselves and not actually reporting the news, which isn't a new thing, obviously. Also, the incentive, there might be some government incentive in there, because whenever there's a privatized corporation that causes a national disaster, who gets the blame? Them. And who is publicly reprimanded for it for years, probably decades, both financially and in the media? They are the private entities. The BP oil spill. I mean, some people refer to it by the name of the actual oil rig, but it's the BP oil spill. Everybody knows it as that because a private company fucked up and they were held liable, both in the actual hearings on the event, and also in public recognition. Think of how many people stopped using their services because of that and the way they handled that emergency. So who's going to take the blame for this? That's the difference here. And that's probably part of the media blackout. How many people, how many U.S. representatives, people in politics and the U.S. government have their pockets in major media organizations and said, hey, don't mention the location, it'll make us look bad because of confusion on the international scale, and said, hey, media blackout on this, don't publish it, don't mention the name of the town. If they got the same amount of flack that, to the extent of however bad this incident is, that BP got for the oil spill, or the members of the Flint town government that found out, oh yes, we actually have a high enough level of lead and other heavy metals in the water to kill people, and said, you know what, we're not gonna update our filter system. And there was 6 months or more, I can't remember the exact stat of people being exposed to that, and people died. Those people knew what was going on and they let it happen. So the question is, which government officials are driving the media blackout? Which people will be held responsible in the end, if any? So this channel is going to be a conspiracy channel now, for the foreseeable future. Thanks for watching.